Welcome to Critiques by Candlelight, the series where each episode we take a break from the hectic pace of games media and analyze a game at a slower pace. This week we're going to be looking at Cloudpunk, a cyberpunk driving simulator. So sit down, get a warm drink or snack, and let's dive in to Cloudpunk. The game begins with you being dropped into the world of Nivalis, the sprawling city that features as the setting for Cloudpunk, with its gorgeous voxel art style giving everything a blocky and fittingly cyberpunk-esque vibe, since the cityscape with these big blocky high-rises is so strongly associated with the genre. Giant buildings tower over you on either side that you can't see the bottoms of, nor the entirety of their tops. With a few hovers, the hovering cars that function as this world's main mode of transportation whirring their way past. Bright lights bombard you from every direction, each one beckoning for you to come and investigate its implied signs of life, or glaring at you with its neon artificiality. The game encourages you to test out your vehicle, which controls surprisingly easily for a flying car, simply displaying the controls briefly in lieu of a tutorialization of the driving. And the driving is incredibly satisfying. Smooth turns, the soft hum of the hover as you move gently through the city, generally unrushed by the gameplay with the synthwave soundtrack carrying you along. It's quite a relaxing experience despite the bleak tone of the game's setting, really giving off those late night drive vibes. Anyway, the cold open immediately immerses you in the world, without needing to get you used to any gaming systems first like more complex games do. Its simplicity allows the audience to dive into the world a lot sooner than other games. While you are dipping your toe into Nivalis and getting your hands around the controls, the game decides to introduce the story through the protagonist Rania, putting a call into control to get instructions for her first night on the job. She works as a delivery driver for the semi-legal delivery company Cloudpunk, where there are only two rules: never ask what's in the package, and never miss a delivery. And performing these deliveries makes up the core gameplay loop. You get given a delivery from Control, you drive it out to its destination, chilling to the synthwave beats the game provides and talking about the details of the delivery or world, with Control and your robo-dog Camus, who is uploaded to your hover and makes your car the goodest of boys. For a fee, of course. In-game economy is vital to any game tackling the cyberpunk genre, with the genre's intense focus on critiquing capitalism, and Cloudpunk starts very strong in this regard. You start with 2,000 limbs, the currency of Nivalis. You get a couple more for delivering your first package to a man named Owen Carver, with the delivery showing up the harshness and desperation of the city. He's expecting the parcel to be some much-needed limbs for eye surgery from his recently deceased parents, and his excitement in this bleak situation for the sheer hope that his parents' death can lift him up and out of poverty that he's found himself in is heartbreakingly understandable. These hopes get dashed when the parcel turns out to instead be a collection of Owen's childhood toys, with his parents hoping he can get some joy out of them, telling him to just hold on a bit longer, as they have a scheme they're investing in to help him. The scheme that resulted in their death. Immediately, the game has established Nivalis as a place that will eat people alive if they fall behind, and drag everyone down with it. No escape. Well, maybe one, but we'll get to that later. Before long, you have to spend 1,500 of the approximately 2,500 limbs you now have to transfer Good Boy Camus into the hover and replace the bland, generic AI that the hover came with. This little bit of personality and companionship costs you 60% of your limbs off the bat, telling you as the player that managing money in this game is going to be important. You're on a knife's edge. Nivalis will eat into big chunks of your finances and the city will swallow you whole like it did for Owen. Make sure to stay afloat. And then the final piece of the game falls into place. completing the trifecta that makes it so fascinating at the beginning. The world building shows you how the city destroys lives through its extreme capitalistic nature. The early loss of funds makes you feel like it's easy for you to end up there yourself. But you work for Cloudpunk, so you have a regular supply of limbs coming in from just doing deliveries, right? But what if the game turned a delivery into a moral dilemma? You get a suspicious package from Control, and it's ticking. You can't check inside, and Control is being awfully suspicious over the situation. Clearly, this is a bomb. The game gives you a choice. Do you deliver the bomb to its intended target in the metro hub, potentially being responsible for however many casualties, or do you throw it away, facing the unknown consequences of missing the delivery? Will you not get paid for the delivery, but still have to pay for the fuel you used? Will you get fined and lose more? Could this decision put you one step closer to the same fate as Irwin? Do you bend your will to capitalism, or stand by your morality? The choice is yours. The opening's structure is amazing because of how these things all build on each other to slowly ratchet up the tension and danger this world and these choices make, resulting in this beautiful climactic moment. But then if you choose to dump the bomb, this happens.
Control told me there are only 2 rules, and I think we already broke them both, Camus. I guess we just tell Control we lost it?
I am frightened.
Don't worry, we'll be fine. Maybe I won't even be fired.
Really?
I doubt it.
Driver 14FC, this is Control. Is there anything you want to tell me about that last job?
No, nothing.
All right, well, I'm just glad it went okay. For your next delivery, please proceed to the following nav point to collect a package at Life Corp Industries. You'll need to find a way up to the roof.
You get paid. You don't get fined. You don't get fired. And you just move on to the next delivery. This moment is a misstep that undermines the job the game had been doing up to this point, to put the sweat on me as a player. For a moment, these choices held all the weight in the world, and were showing just how far this hyper-capitalist dystopia can push its citizens. But from here on, they are relegated to being merely hypotheticals, with no greater weight on Rania or the player. Because of this, there's never really a reason to make a choice taking money over empathy for the other people in Nivalis. You'll never be pushed the way its citizens are, so you can afford empathy every time. The game does manage to recapture the indecisiveness I felt as a player in that opening mission, with tough moral decisions unrelated to the monetary outcome, but very rarely. There's one mission where you have to decide whether or not to take a famous pop star known as Dolly to a live interview, outing the fact that her bosses have replaced her and stolen her identity to corporatize and give to another girl, resulting in her being locked up forever for breaking her contract by revealing the secret, or getting her out of the city, completely erasing her identity of who she was, letting all of her life that she had built up, her family, her fans, everything, be swallowed up, used, and abused by this corporation. It's a genuinely tough decision to be faced with, and the game never pretends that the monetary plight on you or your role as delivery driver plays into the decision at all. It lets the plight sit squarely on Dolly as you experience it secondhand, and she leaves her fate in your hands. Because what else does she have to lose? But this delivery strength does highlight another aspect of the deliveries throughout Cloudpunk in general, being that it feels your actions don't have much consequence over the world. This has been a widely criticized aspect of the game, but whereas the previously mentioned issue with the in-game economy I believe is a misstep, this one feels more like an intentional choice. There's a mission where you deliver pizza to some executives. In it, you get an opportunity to mess with them by changing this sign to slander them in the most heinous of ways. Pineapple on pizza. This moment is never referenced again. Your action here had no real effect, and it is not an outlier in this game. But you're a delivery driver. It's not like you were going to suddenly make these executives see the light about capitalism's flaws. What can you do but get revenge in the pettiest of ways, and just move on? This is not your general cyberpunk story. You are not a savior in this world, you're just a delivery driver. Just another inhabitant trying to survive. While the previously mentioned failure to deliver monetary consequences undermines this point, the lack of world consequences strengthens it. You cannot and will not change the world. At most you can affect a couple people's lives. But then it undermines that too. The thing that comes closest to being a main story for the game is Cora, the city's AI, going nuts. It's making things in the city go haywire, building random things with no logic behind it, and is the reason there's been a sudden uptick in accidents, something that gets mentioned early in the game. The mystery behind Cora is built up for quite a while, and ends with you and a powerful CEO on a rooftop, making a decision. See, Cora had a daughter, and it's up to the two of you to decide if it should be sent off elsewhere to try starting another city from scratch, leaving Nivalis to die and hopefully building something better, or have it take over Cora and try to rehabilitate Nivalis. While I thought the choice in isolation was an interesting one, trying to decide if the city was able to be saved or even worth being saved with the greed that has torn its citizens to shreds, this choice undermines the effect I was just talking about. You're back to being a chosen one, holding the fate of the world in your hands. You're just a chosen one without cool and stylish powers. The world Cyberpunk presents is an amazing cyberpunk setting, with excellent writing and fully worth experiencing for yourself. Talking to people throughout Nivalis continues to flesh out the world and critique different capitalistic tendencies. Rent increases hourly, leaving people homeless at a rapid pace. Gangs build children's playgrounds and parks as illegal acts to spit in the face of authority. Signs remind people that unlicensed jazz is punishable by death, as it should be. People comment about never being able to catch even a glimpse of the sky or the stars. People are willing to take an escalator to nowhere just to see the heights of what life could be, while the richest of Nivalis, sitting just underneath those very stars, throw obscene money at your illegal delivery service to get their pizza just a little bit quicker. In case you missed that, yes, there is literally an escalator to nowhere that people get on to see the stars just one time before they fall off into the abyss. That's your only way out of Nivalis, and the line for that experience isn't exactly short. Cloudpunk is a heartbreaking reflection of what capitalism turns to when left unchecked, and an incredible addition to the cyberpunk genre that, if not ironically let down by its economy, could have been even better. Thank you for watching the video. Leave a like if you liked it and subscribe if you want to see more, as I do plan on making more Critique by Candlelights. I've been wanting to regularly make videos on games for a long while now, but issues just kept coming up and video editing was way too time consuming, so hopefully this format works for you. Good night everyone. Duskin out. Yeah, no, I was gonna blow the candle out, but it's not near the edge yet, so just gonna leave it.